Hello everyone, it's me, Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and if you do not have a demonstrator and you would like to choose me, I would truly appreciate it. I hope, like I said, you're having a great day, and I hope you're getting ready to make some cards with me. If you have the In the Pines bundle, you know how fantastic this stamp set is. It is two-step stamping, so you've got your outlines for your trees, and you also have a fantastic stamp to stamp the inside of it. You have season's greetings if you want to do some holiday cards with it. You have these little, you can use them for snowflakes or stars, whichever you prefer. You have thinking of you, and you have this little stamp here and this little stamp here to make ground with if you like. Now, the pine wood dies that come in the bundle have all of these great tree dies, and also these little land dies that you can use for snow or grass or dirt, whatever you want. For this card that we're making today, we're going to use that small tree die and this triple tree die. Now this card is similar to a card in the catalog. I made it a little bit different. I added a couple little different elements to it than what they had. This is on page 43 of the catalog, so I kind of cased it, which is copy and share everything, but with my own little touches. So I used the Whisper White note cards and envelopes, so I'm going to grab one of those. These are in the catalog as well, and you get them in very vanilla. So you get the envelopes with your already pre-cut little note cards, which is fantastic. So it comes as a set of 20 of each. So fold your Whisper White card in half. That is always what you start with. I'm going to leave my envelope off to the side for now. Hopefully I won't forget to stamp it. But as you can see on this envelope, I stamped that little tree on the front, and then I stamped the 3 on the back where you seal the envelope on the flap there. Now, you're not going to stamp anything on this Whisper White card, so we can set that aside. I do have a piece of soft suede, and we'll start with that. And we're going to use the Thinking of You sentiment and some soft suede ink. That is basically our sentiment for the card, but it's also our background. Isn't that great? You can use it for your background and for your sentiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just Thinking of You right at the top, and then kind of go over, do Thinking of You, and then kind of stamp off the card on this side, and just kind of go all the way down. And I didn't really space them apart from each other. I just one right under the other. I didn't, leave any space in between is what I'm trying to say. And you can do it however you want. If you want to leave some extra space there, you can. But I just thought it looked fine just like this without leaving that extra space. And I wanted it kind of really filled in too. So, and the only two on the card that are the single Thinking of You are the very top and the very bottom one. The rest of them I have more than one, like 1.5, 1.25, 1.33, all the way down. So that's my little tip for that. Now we're done with soft suede. You can set that to the side. Grab a scrap piece of Old Olive cardstock and some Old Olive ink. We are going to stamp these trees. Now this is the outline stamp for the 3 trees. I'm not going to fill them in. I'm going to leave them just like that. And I'm going to do the same for this little small tree. I'm not going to fill it in. I'm just going to do the outline and leave them. And then I'm going to die cut them out. Now you can't see my Stampin' Cut and Emboss here on the left. I didn't leave room for it in the camera today. So basically when you layer this with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, use plate number, use your base plate number 1, then your number 2 little I don't know, I want to call it a shim, but it's not a shim. It's just a skinnier plate. And then a clear plate number 3. Put your cardstock down, then your dies over it. So you have your dies over your cardstock. Then another number 3 plate on the top, and then run it through your machine. Now, the fantastic thing about the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is plate number 1 and your number 2 plate have instructions on there. So if you're not sure, always refer back to that, or go back and watch some videos that I've done before and just see how I've layered my dies and things like that. All right, I'm gonna set those off to the side. Now we are going to use some of the gold hoop embellishments. These are part of the Forever Greenery suite. Not sweep, sweet. Look how gorgeous those are. Now, they do not come in this little plastic. This is an old embellishment container that had some little floral blossoms or something in it. And I always save those when I completely use up an embellishment because I can always use them for something else. And these fit perfectly in there. So I thought it was perfect to use for that. Put some dimensionals on the back of this piece of soft suede before we get started with that gold hoop. Now, getting that gold hoop down is not, wasn't as easy as I thought it was gonna be. Not that I thought it was gonna be super easy, but I guess it was a little more challenging than I had planned on. So I used some glue dots, and I also used some Crystal Effects. Now, the Crystal Effects takes a while to dry, so that's where the glue dots come in. They hold that circle down, you know, the hoop down. Now I gotta find my Crystal Effects. They hold it down so you don't have to wait for it to dry to finish the rest of your card. So Crystal Effects come in this little, they're called Shimmery Crystal Effects in this tube, and it's kind of like a glue. But you can also use it just to accent your card and put little dots on there. This has like glitter in it, but I use it more for glue than anything else, to be honest with you. Okay, so for our little hoop, we're going to take a piece of the copper basket weave and metallic combo. This is part of the Gilded Autumn set, and I loop it around. So I just looped it around, and then I took my stapler, my little mini stapler, and I just stapled it just to hold it there. It's not, obviously, it's still gonna move around the loop, but it's held on there now. And then just trim the end of your ribbon off there. So on the back of this, we're gonna put a glue dot. So it's gonna actually touch, if I can get take your pick tool off and my finger off from there, it's gonna kind of stick a little bit to the ring, but not too much. So I'm gonna put another one on there. Oh my gosh, I'm totally making a mess on this. Let me do this the other way that I did it earlier. It's harder for you to see but where the glue dot is, but it's easier for the whole process. Stick it on and then stick another one right onto that ring, and then just pull this back around. And then they're right next to each other. Then take a little bit of your Crystal Effects, and don't drop it in your lap like I just did, and just kind of go around the ring a little bit right there. Now it might squish out a little bit, and then do right on the exact opposite side, just a little bit, because they're going to be covered with the trees, so you don't have to worry about that too much of it squishing out. But those glue dots are going to hold that in place until your Crystal Effects dries. Take another glue dot or two to hold your ribbon down a little bit too. The trees are gonna cover it, so it's okay. So you can see how that one flipped up already on this side because I touched it and moved the ring up a little bit. But just hold your ribbon down with those glue dots. It's perfect, right? Like that is, I'll tell you what, that is like like I said, it was a little more difficult with the ring than I thought it was going to be. And I don't know why I thought it was going to be easy, but it was in my brain like, oh, this is going to be easy. I don't have to worry about this. You know, I got this. Sure you do, Val. All right, actually, I didn't want to put that whole one right there. We're only going to put a half one on this one, or actually just even a little piece from over here on the side. Just cut a little piece off because you want this piece right here to go over your ring on this side because that's where that glue dot is. That's where your Crystal Effects is drying, and you just kind of want to cover it a little bit. So then just stick your trees down. How cute is that already? And then you just have one more tree, and that's our little one that we're gonna actually dimensional that up with just another little piece here. I was gonna grab a mini one, but I've got so many little pieces left on that need to be used up. So just gonna stick it on there. Most of your card is done now, right? The hardest part again was that ring. I'm going to take some of this fantastic, I don't know if you've seen this from the Forever Greenery Suite. This is their gold cording. Now, this will fray. So I always knot it at the end so I don't have a bunch of gold frayed cording up, you know, in my stash. I'm going to wrap around 2 fingers. You can see I'm holding it with my 3rd finger here. Just wrap around 2 fingers 3 or 4 times. And then I actually, you know what? That didn't make any sense. I need to cut this off before I can wrap it around my fingers because I need to knot this. It's a good thing I've got you all to keep me straight, right? All right, now we'll just start with this end. Just wrap it around 3 or 4 times. And then you have some left over hanging off. It doesn't matter where you end at. You can end on the same side like I just did. Because what you're gonna do with that little loops is just hold it at one end, wrap this around a couple of times, wrap it again and leave kind of a big loop. Thread it through the best you can because it's already frayed at that end, even though I've got it tied in a knot. You know, it's frayed up until you get to that knot. And do it again. This doesn't not as easy as some other cords. Do it again. And now I've got quite a long piece here, and that's not a big deal. We don't have to worry about that. Now you can move these, make them longer and shorter and however you want to do it. And then I also, obviously this one's kind of short and this one's really long, but I'm going to take those 2 and tie them in a knot again. Tie it once. And then tie it one more time. Then we're going to put a glue dot on there. And we're going to kind of bring both of these pieces down so they are both going in the same direction, basically. Grab your glue dots and just stick it directly on there. Now, I know I sounded kind of dry and boring when I was doing that, but it's like one of those things I really have to concentrate on when I make these, especially with this gold cord because it doesn't tie quite as easy as, you know, linen thread does or whatever. Now, before I put this gold cording away, I need to knot this end again, or I'm going to end up with my whole roll of it in a one frayed big mess, and I do not want that. But now that that's all stuck down, you can trim those off, and then you can just fray those little ends. These ones are kind of poking definitely exactly the same direction. We're going to leave them. These ones are kind of off, one to the right and one to the left, but that's okay. We're just going to leave it for now. Grab some of the Fantastically Wonderful gilded gems, the gold gilded gems. going to add even a little bit more sparkle to this. I'm going to add a big one right there. I'm going to add a tiny one of the tiniest ones, just right here, right on that knot. And then one of the medium-sized ones we'll just put kind of down here by the trees again. And that's it for the card. How cute is that? Grab your old olive ink again, and we will do some stamping on our envelope. We're just going to do that small tree on the front again. And then for the back, I'm just going to do those 3 trees on the envelope flap. How pretty would that be to give someone a set of those as a Christmas gift? I think those would be fantastic to give to someone. They're super sparkly, they're pretty, and they're not Christmassy, so they could use them for something else, just for giving to friends when they're thinking about their friends. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you buy that In the Pines bundle because it is super fantastic. Super fantastic, excuse me. I hope that you have a great rest of your evening, and I know there are a ton of demonstrators out there, but I really thank you for choosing me. Bye.